Hi, everyone. Welcome back to It's All Light. I'm your host, Natalie Baugh, and today's lucky guest is Miss Paisley Larson.
Hi everyone, I'm Paisley.
So I'm so excited to have Paisley on. I reached out to her a little while ago, and then recently she was like, it's time. It's time to be on the podcast. And I'm so happy because Paisley is just one of those girls that can do it all and has
Oh,
just like a keen mind, if I can say that. I feel like that's like a scripture word, but like I don't know. Your head's on your shoulders, and I'm excited to learn from you today. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Fun facts.
okay. Yeah. So, first of all, I have to apologize. There are puppies in the room, so if you hear some rustling, that's what that is.
Aw, fun.
So I am from Indiana. I moved to Utah like 10 years ago. I am huge into yoga, love meditation. I love learning about the body and like just learning in general. I feel like I'm pretty outgoing. Yeah, that's like the quick version of me.
And you do with yoga, you instruct yoga, you also do like massage therapy a little bit too, right?
Yes, I don't know
Cool.
why I forgot to mention that, but that's like my main
That's your
job.
profession. Nice. Well, I feel like it's so meditative too. So I feel like they and yoga, it's all kind of,
Yeah.
it can be combined.
Yeah, I love to like live a as zen as possible, like
Yeah.
in every way.
And
Although, that's unrealistic to be zen all the time, but it
right.
is really.
Where does that motivation come from, and, like, what benefits have you seen from a Zen life?
So, the motivation comes from a couple years ago. Like I love New Year's, and one of the New Year's came around. I don't even know which year it was. And I was reflecting back to like year prior, and I realized that not much has changed, and like I didn't really like the way I was living my life. So I decided to start being really intentional with my like day-to-day activity, and it just morphed into mindset, and it morphed into kind of like finding my own peace. And that's just kind of where it came from. And I've been on that journey like ever since. I want to say that was like probably like 2017 or 2018.
Oh, I love that. This has been one of my years where I'm like, "I'm gonna meditate as often as I can." It's sometimes been daily, sometimes once a week,
Yeah.
but I downloaded Soothing Pod, and
Mm.
I've been doing red light therapy. I'm like, "I'm getting
Oh,
my
really?
life slowed down," but I
Yeah.
I love hearing you talk about it, and I'm excited to dive deeper. Um,
Yeah.
Another fun fact about you, let's ask a question. If you were a character in a sitcom or a movie, who would you be?
I'm obsessed with Sandra Bullock, and one of my favorite movies is The Proposal.
Mhm. It's a great
I'm very
movie.
much an entrepreneur businesswoman, and I feel like sometimes I give off a little bit of her vibe, but then like, in the end you find out that she's actually funny and can let go and is lovable and loves, and I
Mhm.
just resonate with her. I feel like
That movie is one of the classics.
it is, yeah.
I relate to Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality. A little bit, like, weird, quirky. I'm
Yeah.
not that tomboy, and I wish I could fight like her, but I don't know. That she's just a great actress.
Oh yeah, she definitely is.
Fun. And what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, if you like ice cream?
I do. Who doesn't? Well, I'm sure people don't like ice cream.
Most people.
I love it's black. It's like
Chocolate
dark
chip?
chocolate. No, it's like dark chocolate with like raspberry chunks in it. I don't even know the name. It's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Oh, it's so
It's
good. It's kinda like a purpley color.
Have you had it?
Yeah. I've had a few
Yeah, it's so
versions of
good.
it. I just
Yeah.
had that in, like, a gelato form. Oh, so
Mm,
good. So
I love
good.
gelato too.
Well,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. What's
And
your
oh, my
favorite?
favorite ice cream? Rocky
Mm,
Road with
mm.
brownies.
You
Oh,
can't go wrong there. You really can't.
just a little gooey marshmallow in. But yeah, ice cream's always good. I had some last night, so it's been on my mind. Okay, so give us an overview of just like a lot of your passions. You shared like yoga and the body and learning, but what else do you light up about?
I love talking about manifestation,
Mhm.
mainly because I like talking about it because I like to teach people about it and like help them realize that you really can live the life you want to live, and the laws of like the universe go right along with like, for me personally, gospel principles. Like, so it's like a spiritual. thing for me. And I just love showing people the way and being like, you can manifest whatever the crap you want, and like, here's how.
Can't wait to get like step by step process here
Yeah.
because I really think it's something people can tap into more. And the more you know, the more you can just try it. It's kind of like you might as well experience it because, like, what do you got to lose?
Oh,
Like it can
totally.
only bless your life. So,
Yeah. And the truth is, we are manifesting all the time, whether we want to or not. So, like, you may as
mm,
well, like, learn how to, like, manifest in your favor. So,
yeah. I
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. And I also want to hear an example from you. But I was
Mhm.
talking to my sister on the phone today, and I'm sure we all feel this way sometimes, but like, I was just like had tight leggings on and like it wasn't fitting me as well as I wanted to. And I was like, oh man, like I feel fat, And like my sister's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, don't, you can't say that. Like, that's not okay. And like, she's like, especially like around certain people, like, you don't want to like offend anyone, but you also like don't want, like, you're subconsciously like offending yourself, by like thinking those things.
Mhm.
So is that what you mean? Or can you explain
Uh,
that a little more?
yeah, 100%. So, our subconscious mind takes everything literally and personally. So, when we say things like
Mm.
that, your subconscious mind takes that in and is like, I am fat, you know?
Oh,
So, it's a fine line because you don't want toxic positivity. You still want to feel your feelings. You still want to process trauma. You still want to process emotions.
yeah.
Um, However, like, you can't sit in that feeling for too long, otherwise, your body and your mind does take it on. So
Mm.
that's something that I like really hammer into, like, I have like a little manifestation course. Anyways, that's what I teach my students, is like,
Wow.
your language is so important. Like, your mind literally it doesn't know the difference between joking, sarcasm, all the things. It just takes everything in. And
Hmm.
another thing that I kind of struggle with is if you're talking about someone else, like, oh, Susie Q is fat. I don't know. We're just using the fat example right
Yeah.
now. Your mind thinks that you're talking about yourself. So,
Whoa, why?
yeah. Why?
Yeah. I didn't know
Just
that.
because it just doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know
Mm.
I am. It doesn't know that. It just knows your thoughts, and it just thinks everything is aimed at you. It's just everything is personal. Everything is,
The subconscious
um,
mind is thinking this.
mhm. Yes, and the subconscious mind. Yeah,
Wow. Wow,
yeah.
that's crazy. Okay, so how long have you been doing this manifestation course? That's so cool.
I did a soft, like, beta launch like over a month ago, so I haven't been teaching for very long, but um it's in the works right now.
Well, we are so lucky to get to pick your brain about it and get a free
Yeah.
little class right here.
Yeah, of
So
course.
let's like go back to the basics. What does manifestation mean?
So manifestation means bringing something from your mind into reality. So thinking about something and then it actually happening. And I'm sure that's happened to you. Like,
Oh yeah.
can you think of a time that's happened to you?
Um, I was getting ready to run a marathon and I was just prepping my mind and you
Mm-hmm.
envision you finishing the run.
Right.
And for some reason I put in the thought of, "Oh, I'm going to throw up at the end. Like I'm going to work so hard that I'm going to throw up." And I did.
Exactly.
I
But
mean,
yeah, you totally
it
manifested
it
that.
wasn't like cuz I was pushing myself so hard, it's cuz I had drinking
Yeah.
a ton of electrolytes and it was too much acid in my stomach, but it was just funny how I'm like, "Oh wow, it actually happened."
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is like, you can manifest bad things too. Like, it's not
Mm,
all good. It's not all the want. That's why you got to take control of your mind so
and
that you
put it
can
out
just,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I know there's like affirmations. Do
Hmm.
are those like parallel to manifestations?
Yeah. So those are like a really good manifestation tool. I wouldn't say that is manifesting.
Okay.
So, what's something you're trying to manifest, or what's a goal you have right now?
Uh, uh, I don't want to use running because I don't want to think about that right now. But reading my scriptures every day.
Okay. So, like, an affirmation you would say with that is, I am the type of person who reads my scriptures every day.
Mm, okay.
And so with more outlandish affirmations, like, I'm a millionaire, your
Mm,
mind can
that too.
reject. Yeah, yeah, and who doesn't want that?
Mhm.
Um, so with I'm reading my scriptures every day, your mind will accept that because that's something like attainable, like something you've probably read your scriptures before. And
Mhm.
so that affirmation will work for you. So
Okay.
that spectrum of affirmation is great.
Like
Then you have the other affirmations that are like I'm a millionaire, which are great. However, there's this part in our brain that will reject the affirmation and be like, that's not true, and just like completely reject it. So like it's a
hmm.
hard balance.
Okay.
Um, and that's what like I teach is how to like get your brain to accept that. And so then you can make that happen. I don't know, that was kind of a
Whoa.
little tangent, but
Okay,
yeah.
wait, I'm so curious. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't want to be a millionaire like you
Yeah.
said? But
Yeah.
like baby steps, would it be like
Mhm.
I'm going to save 10,000 like step by step? Like is that how you would train your mind to manifest that?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can kind of get there. One is like um, the ladder of believability. So you would start with something that's more tangible for you. Or repetition is a way to like
Hmm.
by it's called the part of your brain that rejects it is called the critical faculty.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I've heard that.
um, and another way to like bypass it is repetition. And then another way is like basically you have to go to therapy and get rid of your trauma supporting the opposite claim, if that makes
Whoa.
sense.
Kinda.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so like if you've had like experiences in the past to support the fact that you are not a millionaire, you basically have to just like go to therapy for those.
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
and I personally use hypnotherapy, but there's a lot of different other therapies out there that people use.
How does hypnotherapy work?
So hypnotherapy puts you in a like relaxed state so that you can like directly access your subconscious mind, and then you can rewire from there, like during the session. It's it's
Whoa.
like it's like a lot more simpler than you'd think.
That sounds really cool. How do they get
Yeah.
you in the hypnosis state? Is it through
How?
kind of meditation?
Yeah. And the thing about hypnosis is it's called a trance. We're in a trance way more often than you think. Like when you watch TV, you're in a trance. Like when you drive to work, you're in a trance. So it's like it's not like a hard thing to achieve.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So if I'm in a trance driving my car, like the thoughts I have while driving, what does that say about me? Like, are those
totally.
more?
Yep, you're on the right track. Those are going right to your subconscious mind. Whatever you're listening in the background on a movie, like a show while you work or whatever, that's just like going straight into your brain.
And that affects how we act, that affects what we do and say and how we live.
Totally. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, be careful what media you're taking in, right?
I know I didn't realize till the past like year or so how important like music and shows and social media, like how filtering it like really is beneficial for you, which
Yeah.
is another thing that like my religion preaches. So it's kind
Mhm.
of cool.
Yeah. I like how you said that at the beginning. There's similarities with meditation and manifesting and the
Yeah.
gospel of Jesus Christ. Like
Yeah.
it's a way of life that works nicely. Okay, so tell
Yeah.
us more about the effects of doing this in your life and like what got you started in this manifesting
Yes.
world.
So I've like kind of been a hippie for a while. But it wasn't until my serious breakup or I broke up with one of my serious boyfriends and I just like kind of had like a reset and I was like, what do I want to do with my life?
Mhm.
And I did like a deep dive on like studying manifestation. That's just like the thing I chose to like focus on.
Yeah.
Um, and I've I feel like I've changed so much as a person, and I do this thing where I take a video of myself every 6 months. Well, since that breakup, every 6 months, and then I go back and watch the video and see how much I've changed, and it's just like wild, like how
Hmm.
mindset has just like accelerated my life. It's crazy.
I wanna do that because sometimes I get in ruts and I'm like, "Have I even changed the past 5 years?" But then, like, I feel like it goes off and on. Sometimes I'm like, "I'm the same person," but then there's other times where it's like, "Wow, I'm, like, quite a
Yeah,
different person."
that's why I have a love-hate relationship with like Snapchat memories, because like it can show you like that difference of like, oh wow, I really have changed and
Yeah,
progressed.
no, I downloaded that app because my coworkers are young and they Snapchat and I wanted to be a part of it. And I've been getting those memories too, and it's like 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Whoa, like,
Yeah.
what was I
It's crazy.
like?" Like, my
Yeah.
mindset's so different, and I'm part of me
Mhm.
is like, "Oh, I wanna bring back some of who I was," because there were so many good things, but it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like, I'm happy with where I'm at now and, like, recognizing that.
Yeah.
So, that's
I
cool.
totally agree. I totally agree.
So
Yeah.
you do these videos every 6 months?
Yeah, yeah. And then I like look back at the old, and I try not to like watch the video until the 6 months is up and then like go back and watch it.
So you
And
just film it, record it, put it aside.
yeah, and it's fun because like not only do I change like mentally and like what I'm doing with my life, but like I physically change too. Like I'm like, how how did my face change that much?
Oh, no, for
But it
real.
does.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, my whole body, like, the older I get,
yeah.
I wake up with back pain, I'm like, "This isn't supposed to happen yet." It goes
Bring me
away,
a
thankfully,
massage.
but true, true,
Yeah.
I'll contact you. Okay, so let's break down manifesting a little bit more
Mhm.
and dive deeper because 'cause I'm so
Yeah.
curious. Do you do it in the morning, and then how often do they change? Do you wanna give us some
Yes.
details?
Yeah, so I kind of like talked about like the definition of manifestation.
Right,
Um, and like I said before, it's manifesting isn't something you can turn off and turn on. So you're manifesting all the time, but you can be intentional about it. Like I personally
right.
do it right when I wake up and right before I go to bed because your subconscious mind is the most susceptible 5 minutes before you go to sleep and 5 minutes like when you wake up.
Okay.
So that's when I choose to like do some little rituals or practices or whatever. Um, and what was your other? I'm sorry, I forget what questions you're
No, you're
asking.
good. And how do you determine what you say and how often does that change?
Yeah, so I love to use my intuition, and so sometimes it's different day to day. So sometimes I will wake up and feel like I need to do a meditation. Sometimes I'll wake up and feel like I need to exercise to like release something. Sometimes I feel like I need to do some um, tapping. It's like a
Yeah, yeah.
well, have
My
you done it before?
coworker my coworker
Yeah.
does to fall asleep. She does tapping.
Yeah, yeah. So there's just like I just basically use my intuition to do what my body and my mind needs.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of like vague and probably not what you were looking for, but that's really what I do. I just do random whatever comes to me. And everyone manifests in a different way. So like some people are more detailed and and need more routine. So they might have the same set of like affirmations they say every morning or the same um, meditation they do every morning, but I'm just not really like that, so I don't
Mm.
do that.
Yeah, I once Googled something about women intuition versus men
Yeah.
intuition, and
Hmm.
women naturally have like a pretty good intuition. Like
Yeah.
women in general biologically are just a little bit more intuitive, which
Yeah.
I like to think about just trusting ourselves and knowing what we need.
And if we like tune in and really listen, our body and our mind will tell us what we need, not just for manifestation, just for everything.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to read more, like you gave the example of like reading your scriptures every day. So what I would do is um, I would, when I was falling asleep, just like picture myself getting up really easily in the morning, feeling refreshed and energized. And then I would visualize myself reading the scriptures, and then I would try and feel the feelings that I would have while I was reading, if that makes sense. So
And when do you think through these things, like, in the morning or at night, right?
I
Like
do it at night. It doesn't
okay.
have to be at night, but that's what I would do.
So preparing for
So
the next morning.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. So the way that our brain, our subconscious mind registers things is through like images and story and feeling. So that's why you have to like bring in the emotion side of it and like kind of like
Mm.
play a little movie for yourself in your mind so that your brain can like understand it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I've done something similar like that
Yeah.
called Memory Palace. Have you heard of that?
I have. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's
And you
fun.
literally create a movie in your head to
Mhm.
memorize. It was for a scripture chain on my mission. And,
Yeah.
like, I could still walk you through it and say, like, I only made it to, like, 5 of them, but, like, 6 years later, I can still do that. Like,
Yeah. That's so cool.
it's so cool that I okay, so I gotta remember to create that story and emotion. Are
Yeah.
are there, like, elements? So it's like a story, emotion, is there any other elements to, like, make sure you
As
think of?
many elements as you can add is
L
the better. So if
like
you can
5
add more,
senses?
yeah, if you can add texture, if you can add color, if you can add smell, and the best way to know which senses to pick is use your intuition. So like even though like
Hmm.
you're like, why would I want to smell an orange? You use it anyways. You don't want to like filter your senses. You just want to go with what you think of.
So, would I like, I have a diffuser and different oils, like, would I do that as I'm getting r like, as I'm doing
Oh,
this manifestation at night or in the morning, or both?
okay. I see what you mean. Sorry. When I was talking about like your senses, you just like think of the senses, but if you
Oh.
want to enhance them even more, you can literally like put them in your room. That obviously that would work
Oh,
more.
just by
Like,
thinking of smelling an orange and waking up
yeah.
and having an orange as I read my scriptures or something.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
do I
Yes.
need
Yes.
to follow through and I actually have an orange or
No, no,
Hmm,
it's just to like light up that part of your brain because it knows what an orange smells like. So then it can like tap in more, if that makes sense.
just engage all parts of my
Yeah,
mind?
yeah. I mean,
Whoa,
obviously, like
yeah.
if you do eat an orange every day, like that's gonna be, or while you read your scriptures, that's gonna be like more magnify your goal more.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that.
Hmm, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, a lot of the times, okay, so like I feel like a lot of people don't know like what manifestation really is. So I gave a basic definition, but it's like really scientific too. So what we put out is what we bring in, and that sounds like so generic, but we are literally like putting off vibration all the time. And
Mhm.
you know this, right?
Yeah, I've heard this before, yeah.
Yeah. So what everything around us does matches our frequency. So if we want the frequency of being a millionaire or like abundance, if we put out the frequency of abundance, then we receive the frequency of abundance. So that's why we do all these things so we can like keep raising our vibration to get what we want. Does that make
Huh.
sense? I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
even making sense.
No, no, that makes sense. I on TikTok, my sister sent it to me, like the lucky girl syndrome, like
Yes.
just telling yourself, I'm the luckiest girl. And it's paired with gratitude, right? Like, I'm so lucky I have a car to drive. I'm so lucky have
Yeah,
I get to breathe today. Like
definitely.
that gratitude and luck sets you up to be more lucky.
Oh, definitely. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. Like the word thankful is like the highest, the most high vibrational word that you can use to raise your vibration, if that makes sense.
Whoa. What are some
Yeah.
other high vibrational words?
Um so thankful, love, like I
Love.
love receiving money. I love when people Venmo me. Um and I love, I'm working on manifesting more money and not like
Well,
a
we
man.
all want that. So I'm like, I love when people Venmo me.
Yeah, yeah,
Check
yeah.
the show notes, guys, for our Venmos. If you're, I'm just kidding. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Yeah, so thankful, love, um, abundant, beautiful, kind. Just
and
all the like
and
good
saying I
words.
am kind or she is kind.
Yeah, yeah.
What are some
Just
other examples of like phrases to say?
um that's a good question. So I don't know why I'm blanking. I don't know why every time I get gas, I always just say like uh, I quickly and easily create abundance. It's just like one of my trigger things.
When you
Like
fill up your car?
yeah, I don't know why. And
Hmm.
then I say, I'm so thankful that I have a card so I can get to A, B, and C. Um,
And you're
or
manifesting just always having a good working car.
yeah, exactly. Or I like to, oh, this is one that I taught my best friend. Anytime I walk into a room, I just say, "I'm the hottest person in this room, and everyone wants me." And it's not to be cocky. It's not.
Right,
Like
right.
I think other people are pretty and hot, but it's just like for me, that's what works for me. Is just saying, "I'm the hottest person in here, and everyone wants to talk to me." Like I don't know.
I have totally felt that at times at certain like, just certain parts of my life. Sometimes when I, like, wear one of my favorite outfits and when I know
Yeah.
I look good, it's not like, "Everybody look at me." It's just going into it saying, "I got this." And then I feel like I make better connections because I'm not worried about myself in a sense,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, because I put the effort of getting there and then I feel so good. And I sometimes call it my toxic trait, but I like to believe everyone around me is secretly in love with me, or I don't know, little things like that that
Yeah.
make me laugh because obviously that's
Yeah.
not true, but, like,
Well, that's
it
not even toxic. Like you should be like sending out love to everyone and you should be receiving love from everyone you talk to. Like you don't want to talk to someone that hates you. Like you don't want that.
no, that's true. I think I
So,
TikTok's been in my life a little too much, but there was another TikTok about, just, like, the language we use, and I think it was using like, saying "I hate something," like, does so much more damage than we realize. So it's like
um
the opposite, like, we need to say love and kind
yeah.
and grateful so much more and maybe say I dislike something instead of hate because it is
Yeah.
strong language.
It is. Have you seen those like science experiments where they like take like rice and put them in different jars and then put like different words in all of them? Have you seen that?
No?
Okay, so this experiment is they put rice in three different jars. On one jar they put love, one jar they put nothing, and then one jar they put hate. And then they leave it alone for 6 months, and then they come back, and the love jar is like the rice is fine. The nothing jar, like the rice is a little bit moldy, but then the hate jar, it's like the jar is like super moldy.
No way.
And they don't even like say the words to the jars. They just literally just write the word on it and put it on the jar, and it does that.
How
So
does
like
that
if we're
work?
saying the words, saying gives like speaking things gives it more power.
Power.
So like can
Yeah.
you imagine like what we're doing?
Yeah, totally. Well, it's like talking to your plants. Like that's been
Hmm.
something that people have talked about, like encouraging your plants to grow, like
Yeah.
treat ourselves
Yeah.
like that too, encourage ourselves to grow.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like manifesting it only works for yourself, right? Like this power, but obviously once you work on yourself then you can look outward. But like you can't
Um,
manifest for other people, right?
no. Yeah. So you can't manifest for other people because they have their own free will and agency.
Can you
You
send
also can't manifest specific people to do things for you. You can
right.
manifest a type of person and characteristics of a person that you want something to happen, but you can't say, I want Johnny to ask me out on a date. You can't do
Right.
that.
We're
Well, you
not we're
can.
not genies over here.
No. Well, actually, there's a side of TikTok that says you can, but the truth is, like,
Hmm.
it won't be um, in the highest good for them and you if you do a specific person.
Hmm.
If you do a characteristic, it'll be in the highest good for them and for you because God in the universe knows what you want and will give it to you. Like it's crazy.
Can you send good vibes to people?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, that's kind of like what
And that's just
the
emitting those
mhm,
vibrations, how we
yeah,
talk to other people, how we're kind to other
totally.
people.
Yeah.
Saying you're
Hmm.
grateful for someone, I'm sure, like you said, grateful's a high frequency.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, this is so
yeah,
cool. I love learning about this because it
yeah,
really does it makes the day-to-day life that much better.
yeah,
And that's something I want to focus on just in life in general. It's like life is made up of all those little moments and you want to make the most of your life, right?
yeah,
And
definitely.
how do you accomplish what you want to accomplish and tap into your potential? How have you felt this help you grow and change and become better?
Oh, oh man, it's really opened my eyes, like learning about like subconscious mind. It's really opened my eyes to like who I am as a person. And I had to do some like deep like a deep dive on myself because like when I'd scroll on social media, I'd become very judgmental, and I was like, because they can like people can feel that, and like obviously I'm taking that on too. So
Mm.
that's something that I just like have really like been particular about is like my thoughts on like judging other people because it's not good. Anyways, so that's how I feel like I've grown the most. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm still working on it, but yeah.
So what are some manifestations you say to help you in that realm? Because yeah,
Mm.
jealousy and
Yes.
social media like attacks our subconscious probably way more than we really understand. And
Yeah.
I want to combat that.
Yeah. So jealousy is a good one. So jealousy, we don't like jealousy because I'm jealous of Becca for going to Bali. So when your mind hears jealous or thinks jealous, it thinks, oh, you don't have that. So that's lack mindset. It's like, since you're jealous, I know you don't have that. So then what I do is I switch it and I say, oh, I'm excited for Becca to go to Bali because like that's so cool. I'm so proud of her for making that happen. It looks like an amazing trip. And then so my mind thinks, oh, like you like that, like must be something important to you. It's something that you're excited about. So it's more likely to happen for you if
You're pushing that out.
yes, and that's like
Mm.
a whole other topic. Kind of, it's kind of hard to explain in a few words, but jealousy is a good indicator to like be like, okay, let me just go ahead and switch that real quick and be excited for them.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm sure
so
that would help stop comparison. You know, cuz
yeah,
I feel like I like to say that I don't compare, but I 100% do. And my therapist and I have talked about how the grass is greener mentality, which is just basically
yeah,
comparing. And instead of being like, oh, like I wish I had that, or I wish this was like that, or why can't it be like that for me? And switching those to like, how would I switch? Why can't this be me? What would the opposite of
yeah.
that look like?
So can you give me an example of like one thing that you're like, why can't this be me on?
I think for some people, finding someone to marry and falling in
Okay,
love and getting married,
yeah,
like it's definitely my goal and I'm working at it and
yeah,
things are great, but it's just it doesn't feel easy and for other people it looks so easy for them. And I'm like,
yeah.
"What why isn't that happening to me?"
Yeah, so something you can switch to instead of being like bitter and be like, oh, why is this like so if you're asking why isn't this happening to me, your brain is like, this is not happening to me. So like
So it's
so then
manifesting that it's
you're
not going to
putting
happen.
yeah, you're putting out the not
Ah!
happening to me vibes. So what you can do is just be like, I'm so happy for them. That must have come like that looks so easy.
Hmm.
Like if it's easy for them, it can be easy for me.
So making
Even
it
though
more
we know that dating's
fast.
not
No,
easy.
it's not easy. It takes work. And I
Yeah.
think it's hard especially with social media to see some things that maybe look easy, but in
Mm.
reality they're not. So maybe telling our brains like, "Oh, the
But why can't
reality
they
of
be? You know,
good point."
like we tell ourselves like dating is hard and it takes work. Yeah, but like why can't it be easier than what I'm doing right now? Like I think a lot of the times we just like put things in a box because it's been said by everyone, you know, like
Mm. It's
does
just
that
what
make
we're
sense?
raised to think or
Yeah,
believe,
yeah.
what our
So
subconscious has heard time and time again.
yeah, why can't dating be easy? Why can't I find the love of like
Yeah.
I don't know what
So
it is.
I guess just saying things like this is easy for me. I can make this decision. I am confident and
Yes.
capable of this. And what are some other manifestations
Yeah.
that I
Um
could say in love, I guess to grow love, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. You know,
Is
it's so interesting. This is like the one side of manifestation that I don't focus on. Like, I have not focused on like my dating portion of my mind. It's like a mental block for me. So it's so interesting that we're talking about this because I've just been avoiding it. Um, so, one thing that I could start saying is, there's an abundance of men out there and that they like what I like and they have the same point of views as me and the same religious um, background as me. Like
Hmm.
I kind of had the mindset for a while, like, oh, like there aren't very many holistic guys out there because I'm very holistic. And so
Mhm.
therefore I wasn't meeting any holistic guys. I did make the shift on that part like a few months ago and I'm so sorry, my puppy is
Oh,
whining.
you're fine.
And I started saying there are so many holistic guys out there, and they're all around me, and they love to talk to me. And lo and behold, like I started attracting more holistic guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't
So,
found, oh my gosh, I haven't found the one yet, but he's coming.
yeah, and just by saying that, like knowing like
Mhm.
it will happen, I'm not worried, like
Yeah.
reassuring your mind and brain, or like for me in a relationship too, it's like I will figure this out. Like
Yeah.
I will attract love and figure it out. And I'm trying now, I'm going to have to brainstorm more of what I want, right? And then just
Yeah.
start speaking it and meditating it.
And
Do you speak these out loud?
yeah,
Like when
I
you
do.
create the story in your head,
hmm
you
Yeah,
do it
and
out
sometimes,
loud?
yeah, I do. It's just more powerful that way. And writing down is more powerful too.
Oh
Something you
yeah,
touched on
writing. I love writing
is,
things down.
yeah, something you just mentioned was like, or I don't know exactly what you just said, but like it's already happening. Like, so when you are doing like the manifesting, the talking, the affirmations, you should talk as if it's already happened.
Mm,
Um, so
yeah.
like, I am in love. Like, you should say that, or like, I'm so thankful that I was able to attract an extra $1,000 this week. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I gotta
you
say
should
that.
talk like that all the time. I'm serious. And it happens. Like, I say that regularly, and I will regularly just like happen upon an extra $1,000. Like,
Wow.
which to me is my normal. Like, and so it's time to change that and like up it a little bit. But like
Wow.
it didn't start there. I started with $100.
Just to
But
see unique ways that could come into your life.
yeah, and you have to be open to like what I like to say is I'm so thankful for the extra $1,000 that comes to me in expected ways and unexpected ways.
Mm.
So that's what I do, but you want to use words that make sense to you. You want to use phrases that make sense to you because your mind is going to register it easier.
Hmm. So this in and of itself is an action to do and like walk yourself through this mindset. But are there other actionable items that you go out and do? Like, let's say I want to make $1,000 next week. Like, do I
Yeah.
then need to think, okay, what are ways I could do that? Or
Yeah. So if you want to make $1,000 next week, maybe I'll just challenge you. What I would tell you to do is to start saying it's in the morning, writing down 5 times, I'm so thankful for the extra $1,000 that came to me this week. And then write down how that makes you feel. I feel blank, 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 blank.
hmm,
And then what you would do is kind of get quiet, meditate a little bit, and then just let your intuition speak to you on what you need to do to help that come in. Because
hmm,
um, we get nudges all the time on like things to do. It's just whether or not we act on them or hear them or listen to them.
right.
So, it could look like taking a left to go to work instead of taking a right because you might see a billboard or I don't know, like,
Yeah.
it's little things, or
Hmm.
big things might come too.
That sparked my mind because something I want just my whole life to be is the characters of Christ. Elder
hmm
Bednar talks about this, and I watched a video this morning about it. And it's like he shared very intense stories of like the Relief Society president who just lost her daughter, having a sister complain and say, "You never brought me dinner," not knowing her daughter had just died, but like on the way to her daughter's funeral, like bringing this person dinner, and that's
Yeah,
just like an extreme example. But I'm like, oh, if I want to serve more in my life, and if I want to like you said, act on promptings, that's like a spiritual way of saying what you said, like acting on intuition and like feeling more of those feelings to then act on. It's like I need to start manifesting service more in my life, and how I can
yeah,
focus on others, and I've always wanted that to be good at that, and I'm still far from it, but I feel like if I just start manifesting that, or like praying too. Praying, I
yeah,
guess, is a form of manifestation too.
100%, 100%.
And when
That's
I
why,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what we pray. And like I pray for like, okay, help me to find and be aware of like someone I can serve today. Like I used to be
Mhm.
so good at that, like right after my mission. And I would like find those opportunities like
Yeah,
all the time. They would
and they
come.
would come so easily, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, and so unexpected. So like, you have that example in your brain, like, so
Yeah.
why can't that work for other things?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I mean, God loves us and wants the best for everyone, whether you believe in God or not.
Yeah,
He wants us to be blessed.
it's true. Yeah, and if you don't believe in God, there's other things to believe in, like the universe or source or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're here. There's got
Yeah,
to be a reason why we're here.
totally. I'm so sorry.
Cool.
My dogs are like totally
You're
wrestling over
fine.
here.
You're totally good, but it is time for bed. I do these late at night, so I appreciate you taking your time. But
Of
what
course.
would you, with all our conversation, what would you say one of your takeaways is?
Um, Probably the biggest takeaway was just what you put out is what you receive. So start putting out good vibes. That way you receive good vibes.
And like before you go to bed, even if it's a minute, right? Like I feel like that's my biggest takeaway is like before bed, like
Oh, your
write it
subconscious mind is
down.
so susceptible right before bed. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I used to do gratitude at night, but I've
Do it.
just shifted and started doing it in the morning though too because
Oh yeah.
it just sets up my day.
Yeah.
But do you think it's better to like focus on one thing to manifest at a time instead of like five things? Or do
Um,
you
yeah.
constantly manifest?
I think if you're just getting into it, start with one, and then you'll see how you manifest, and then you can do more.
Cool. Um sorry, we'll wait for your dogs. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're
There's like
fine.
5 of them in here. I'm
Five
so
puppies? Oh my heck. That is so cute. I'll post that maybe on our story so people can see the cute puppies. But
sorry.
I am so grateful you were on this podcast. I'm like, what's a manifesting phrase I can end with, right?
Right. Yes. I'm so thankful you had me on today.
And I hope everyone can take this piece into their lives. And my podcast tagline is spread the light and light the passion. Just
Yes.
manifest
Love
light
it.
in your life, and that will bring you joy and happiness. So, Paisley,
And it'll
thanks
just bring more
again.
light. Yeah.
I'll post your Instagram too. So if people want a massage or if they have questions and
Yeah.
want a manifest lesson, they can contact you. So thanks
Yeah. Thank you
again.
so much for having me on.
Yeah, we might have to do this again. I feel like we could keep talking about this forever. So,
Oh my gosh, I definitely could.
well, everybody have a wonderful Tuesday or whatever day you choose to listen to. It's all light, and we'll talk to you next week. See you later.
Bye.